Beyond the physical injury, what emotional struggles do you see?
I mean, Sam actually really likes to push this psych aspect, and it's so true. Every injury, every physical injury that someone suffers, there's always a psych component. Not being able to get back to your family, provide for them, that, messes with your head. Not being able to do what you were able to do yesterday. Just being just out of your normal routine, not being able to go to work. You're at home, you're sitting on the couch, you can't move, your arms messed up. It messes with you psychologically.
Sure.
And then, obviously add the financial aspect, which is, could drive someone insane, especially if they have to provide for a family.
Welcome to Law Meets Life, presented by Pond Lehocky, where conversations go beyond the courtroom and into the people, experiences, and moments that define who we are. I'm your host, Katie Frey, and today's guest is the Director of Client Services for Workers' Compensation at Pond Lehocky, Gab Mastero. Gab, thank you so much for being here
Thanks for having
today.
me.
Absolutely. So I have to say, Gab, when I was looking up information on you for this podcast, you have such a clean internet
Rap sheet?
footprint.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great to hear.
It's
I've
a
never
rap sheet.
Googled myself. Okay, good.
I saw something from high school where your parish, I think, was celebrating you and your graduation, but that was it.
Okay. Okay. Love to hear it.
So I'm excited to learn a lot more about you
All right. Yeah,
today.
let's dig in.
So I did know you were born, raised, and still live in South Philly. So you are a
Yep.
South Philly girl through
Through
and
and
through.
through. Yep.
So, Gab, first question to you. What makes South Philly South Philly?
What makes South Philly South Philly? Wow. We're just like a small knit group. I feel like everyone just knows everyone. We're tough. I didn't have it too tough growing up, but you learn from the streets, I guess, if you want to say. But yeah, I think we're just like a small knit group. It's a great culture down in South Philly. Everyone, it's all like, mom and pop shops.
Mm,
You can, walk everywhere down there. I'm in the stadium district, so right next to the stadiums. My dad's
nice.
still right on Packer Ave across from the Chickies and Pete's. Everyone just knows everyone. It's like a big family down there.
That's such an iconic staple.
Yeah.
Like living across from Chickies and
Yeah, it's
Pete's in
great.
South
It can be a
Philly.
little chaotic, but it's great.
I love it. What's one thing about growing up there that people who aren't from Philadelphia just wouldn't understand?
I mean, it's chaos. We're right next to the stadium, so it's very touristy. Everyone's coming. Everyone wants to, the cheesesteaks in the area. They want to, they're traveling to the stadiums. So it can get a little crowded.
What's the craziest thing you've seen around the stadiums?
I mean, there's like constantly fights breaking out, especially from at Chickies and Pete's. You're drinking too much. Everyone's very riled up from the games. Very often there's fights breaking out. It's pretty crazy.
That's just part of
But
the
it's just part of the everyday life in South Philly. We're
I
used to it.
love it.
Just a day in life.
What's your favorite South Philly tradition that you'll never give up?
I mean, Sunday gravy, obviously. So,
For anyone who doesn't know, what is Sunday gravy?
Sunday gravy is the best. So it's pasta. People call it, there's the fight between whether it's gravy or marinara. It's, Sunday pasta. You make the meatballs, you're making the gravy from scratch with the meatballs, the sausage, marinara sauce. It all sits and
Yum.
ferments all day, and you get gravy out of it.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's a staple in every Italian house in South Philly. So you're doing that every Sunday.
I
It's a
have
great day.
Central PA ignorance, and I genuinely thought gravy meant like
Like brown
gravy.
gravy? No.
Yes.
So that's like, the yeah.
So gravy in South Philly is like a marinara sauce.
Gravy is, yeah, your marinara. It's your meat gravy.
I
Yeah, it's the
learned
good
something
stuff.
new today.
Yep.
This because in Central PA we have Sunday dinners,
Okay.
and it's like the spiral egg noodles
Okay,
and then
yes.
actual
Fusilli.
gravy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Fusilli's our favorite.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay. Amazing. I love this. We have different Sunday gravies.
Yeah.
All right, Gab. You and I are spending an afternoon in South Philly. Where are we eating? Where are we walking to? What are we absolutely not missing?
Okay, let's see. I love going up Passyunk Ave. There's a ton of bars, restaurants along the whole, strip. Some people call Passyunk. That's, I mean, if you're going to
I've heard
pronounce it,
that,
but it's
yeah.
Passyunk Ave. If you
Passion.
know, you know. So Passyunk Ave, we're going up there. There's a ton of spots to hop around, eat, drink, ice cream, everything. A lot of our friends own restaurants on the strip, so gotta pay it to our friends. But yeah, I'd say hopping over there. What else are we doing? Let's see. I mean, you got to see a game if
Yeah.
you're in the area. If there's a game going on, Phillies game is always fun. I've only ever been to, I think, one Eagles game, maybe two. I'm trying to think.
No way.
Yeah, Phillies is more my vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was about to say we have to get you to another
I
game, but if you
know.
love the
I
Phillies
mean,
vibe,
yeah, just I like the slow.
you can't beat it.
You can't. You're getting your hot dogs, your
Yeah.
beer, you're hanging out. It's more family friendly.
Yep,
I have to
exactly.
take, the baby still, so she
Yeah.
has to go to her first game. She's already got all the gear though, of course,
Oh
so she's
my
ready.
gosh, are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
Does she have Pond Lehocky swag?
Of course she does. Are you
Okay,
kidding
cool.
me?
I was about to say we
Yeah.
gotta hook you up if you don't
Yes,
have
of course
that.
she does.
So you have an 11-month-old.
An 11-month-old, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
first of
you.
all.
A lot of PLG babies.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. What has been the most rewarding thing that has come out of being a first-time mother?
Oh, wow. It is just like seeing them and how much they love you is just the most precious thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like her just like wanting to come to me and her seeing how much she like loves me and adores me. I'm like, I don't know why you love me so much.
Oh
But
my
it's just
gosh.
beautiful to like see and it's beautiful to watch her grow. It's really an amazing experience. And you really don't know it. You don't know this love until you're really in it and
Yeah.
doing it. I could never imagine I could love another person as much.
Mm,
But
I
she's
love
the
that.
best thing ever.
That's what Tom said too when he was
Yeah.
on the podcast. He
Yeah.
said he like didn't know true love.
You don't. You really don't until you're in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you would do anything in the world.
Now, are you the type of person who can never imagine leaving Philly, or has there ever been a city that's tempted you?
I could see us leaving. It gets a little crowded, these row homes.
Yeah.
There's, nowhere to go but up. I definitely could see our next move somewhere with more land. I'd love a big yard for
Yeah.
Cam to like run around in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see
And
myself
cash.
and Cash, of
Yeah.
course. Cash we share with my dad. So my dad lives around the corner on Packer
Oh,
Ave. So
yeah.
he has been hanging with him more often. But yeah, he comes to see us from time to
What is
time.
he again? A
He's
mini
a mini cockapoo.
mini
Yeah, he's
cockapoo. We'll
adorable.
have to add a picture in here.
Yes.
Cash is
Yes, please do.
adorable.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I love it. What values from growing up in South Philly have carried into your career?
Good question. I'd say, loyalty is huge. I think loyalty is huge here at the firm. Um, Values just kindness. My mom has really instilled that in us, just, being kind to everyone. You don't know where people are coming from, their background. And I think that's, something that we need to do here with, our injured workers, what they're going through, empathy. So I think, kindness, loyalty, just being trustworthy, dependable, responsible,
Yeah.
reliable.
Being able to deal with chaos too.
Chaos,
I
yes.
mean,
Oh,
you grew
yeah.
up in South Philly, so you are no
Yeah, we
stranger to the
know.
chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, I have pretty tough skin, so
Yeah.
I'm built for this place.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love hearing career stories because they're almost never linear. You started as an intake specialist at Pond Lehocky, and today you're the director of client services for workers' compensation at Pond Lehocky, the largest work injury firm.
True. All true.
What does that make you feel when you hear that? That's
It is pretty
major.
crazy. I've been a long way. This February coming up in 2027 will be 10 years at the firm.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it has been a long journey.
Did you always think you would end up in workers' compensation?
No, I mean, before I came to Pond Hockey,
Yeah.
no, I mean, I didn't even really know what workers' compensation was. I wasn't, familiar with it. I didn't never had to obviously utilize it.
Yeah.
But no, I love that I ended up here. Workers' compensation, working in this is very gratifying. So I'm glad I ended up here, but no, I never.
What did you dream you'd be doing?
I don't know that I had like I thought I was gonna I wanted to go to law school. So that's, this was my in to a law firm
Mhm.
to pursue that career. Obviously things changed. I ended up being more on the business side of things, which I love. I love that, it pivoted. Um, but that's why I started here. I thought I wanted to go to law school. I was taking some time. I wanted to get in at a law firm, learn everything. And I saw the job posting. So Adam posted it at Penn. I went to University of Penn. And he was basically poaching, all of the new the graduates from there. So, just responded, got a call, and here I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your first job ever?
My first job ever. I mean, I worked, in high school, how you have those
Yeah.
side jobs after school. So I worked in a daycare after school during high school. My dad also had a catering business, a family
Oh,
catering
cool.
business. So yeah, he is in culinary that, has since ended and he's at another employer, working as a chef. But, I worked for him all my life just
Yeah.
to, make some money. Definitely some child labor
Yeah.
laws being, a little questionable there. But, technically, those are my first jobs. I worked,
Yeah.
all my life.
So you've been eating well your whole life. I mean, you have a chef for a dad.
My brother also went to Culinary Institute of America,
Oh
so
my
he knows what he's
gosh.
doing in the kitchen. So yeah, I've been very blessed with good food all my life.
I now have on my bucket list be invited to Gab's family's Sunday gravy.
Yes, please, I would love it. We cooked a lot more. I will say we cooked a lot more before the baby.
Yeah.
That was, what else was
Sure.
there to do?
Sure. Yeah.
So now I enjoy, cooking for her, and it's mostly just her eating well and us
Yeah. Right.
eating crackers and chips. So
Her
at least someone
leftovers.
yeah,
Yeah.
someone in the house is eating well.
I love
Yeah.
that. Was there ever a moment where you realized this is where I'm supposed to be?
Wow, deep. I don't know if I've ever had like an aha moment, but I feel like, every day, I mean, I keep coming back. But it's very I love the culture here. I love who I work with, my bosses, the staff, everyone that I work with. So I know that I'm, supposed to be here. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know that I've ever had an aha type moment,
Yeah.
but I know it.
What is it about the culture that keeps you here?
I mean, it's just chaotic. It's crazy. We're always just changing and evolving and doing new things and pushing the limits. And it's a fun place to work. Keeps us on our toes constantly. It's exhausting, but very, very gratifying.
I always say monotony is my greatest fear.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's fun.
I like having something different every single day
Exactly.
to do.
We're
Yeah.
always working on something different, something new. Sean's a big tech guy, so we're always implementing something every day, it seems.
Now with
Now
AI,
with AI, we're getting into that.
opens up a whole new
Oh, it's
world.
crazy.
How have you seen AI change your workflow in the past year?
We're implementing it in every way that we can. I mean, it's changing every single process that we've built. So in every way, we're working on implementing it into the phones, screening calls, helping us just be more efficient and, you know, be better for our clients. It's been huge.
At the end of the day, what have you seen from an AI perspective that has made the biggest difference in clients' lives?
Clients' lives, all the automation is just helping us be more efficient. But yeah, just making their experience a lot better, a lot quicker, a lot easier, making, they can call in and get right to the right representative, ask their
Mm,
questions. Everything is handed to them. We're able to automate and use AI and leverage AI in ways to just make their case journey so much cleaner and simpler. And, they're going through a rough time. So
yeah.
anything that we could do to make it more streamlined and transparent, I think they appreciate.
We'll be back with more Law Meets Life after a quick message from our sponsor.
Up! Do my eyes play games?
What do you see, Captain? Is it the Redcoats?
No, it's another Pond Lehocky billboard. Who here's been injured at work?
We have, sir. It's our fingers, sir. Oh, they ache.
Well then, you know who to call. To the front, march!
These things are everywhere.
I'm back now with Gab Mastero, Director of Client Services for Workers' Compensation at Pond Lehocky. Today, you are the Director of Client Services. When you first started, did you ever imagine that you'd be leading the department someday?
No, I could never have imagined. I thought I was gonna, leave and go back to, do law school. But no, I could never have imagined that the people that were training me, I would be managing. It was difficult, honestly, at first. It was tricky. It was a little awkward. Literally, the people that trained me how to do
Yeah.
my job, I was now, overseeing and managing. So It was a little tough, but I think they grew to respect me obviously, and we have a great team now. My someone that I manage has been here longer than me. Sydney Reeves, I don't know if you know Sydney. She's my team lead
I've
in
heard
on
the
the
name.
PA team. Yeah, she's awesome. She's been here for longer than me,
Wow.
so over a decade. But it's great people, so they made it easy to step in and do what I'm doing.
What's been the hardest professional lesson that you've had to learn?
The hardest professional lesson. If you're efficient and do all your work, they'll reward you with more work. Um, no, but I'm kidding, kind of.
I was about to say, I'm
Yeah,
not kidding
yeah, I'm
with
not
that.
kind of kidding, but not. For hardest professional lesson. I mean, I think just as a manager, you just learn that there's a lot of responsibility, a lot of accountability. So I'm accountable for a lot of humans at this firm.
Mhm.
Overseeing different teams and departments. Any issue, mistake falls on you. So, professionally it's a lot to bear, but it's the job. It's at the end of the day, you do it.
I feel like that bleeds into motherhood as well.
Yes, yeah.
Like you're responsible for all of these people,
Yeah, it's
and
huge.
now you're
I
responsible for
know.
a
Please
little
don't remind
boy.
me. I'm responsible for a whole nother human that I have to keep alive every
Oh
day.
my
It's a
gosh.
lot.
That's incredible though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very rewarding though.
for sure.
Yeah.
What's one lesson you learned as an intake specialist that you've carried with you into your director role?
Great question. I mean, it's always about the client. It was always about the client back then. It's still always about the client right now. Empathy and just great client service is what we strive for, even at the intake level, being on the call.
Yep.
You want to deliver the best client service and make their day at the end of the day, at the end of the call, as best as you can. And I try to do the same thing at the director level and overseeing processes, just trying to make sure at the end of the day the client is taken care of.
It's that client-centric mindset.
Yeah.
It's so
The
common.
customer
Yeah.
is always right. The client is always right.
Yeah. And if you take care of the client,
The rest will take care of itself.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Who has been your biggest mentor in your career?
My biggest mentor, I mean, obviously Sean. Sean, me, we go hand in hand here at the firm. He has been huge in my growth here. As I went up the ladder from intaker to manager to director, he's had a huge hand. Learned a lot from him, and I continue to learn every day.
What's something people assume about leadership that isn't actually true?
That we know what we're doing. Uh, no, we usually do. Assume about leadership. I mean that it's all, it's easy and
Yeah.
we're up here that we're out of touch. I think, a lot of staff might think that we're out of touch with the realities of being, in the trenches and sometimes, some are, but I think a lot of working managers and directors, especially I've come from being an intaker. I'd like to try to, I think I know what my team are going through and I'm open to any issues that or struggles they're going through. So I think being out of touch, I think they think that we don't really know what's going on, but we do.
You're like, I've been in those
Yeah, it's like I
trenches.
know what's
Yeah,
happening.
exactly. So, speaking of the trenches, I want to talk a lot more about workers' compensation without the legal jargon and just getting down to the brass tacks of it all. So, when someone gets hurt at work, what's the very first thing going through their mind when they call your team?
Going through their mind, I think the first thing is when can I get paid?
Mm,
It's obviously probably top of mind for everyone. A lot of these injured workers are head of their household. They're bringing in, they're bringing the bread home. So I think first on their mind is, when can I either get back to work? They need medical treatment, but I think most of the time it's, when can I get my check?
when can I
When can I,
provide for
yeah,
my
when can I
family?
provide for my family? It's huge.
What surprises first time clients the most about the workers' compensation process?
I think how long it takes. I don't think anyone expects that, once you go through with this, if they have a denied claim, that it can take up to 12 months. I don't know that anyone's
Wow,
expecting that type of, wait. So I think that's pretty surprising for everyone to hear
for
off
sure.
the bat.
So, on that same wavelength, what are some of the biggest myths about workers' compensation?
Biggest myths, I'd say the 90-day rule is one of the biggest myths,
Can you
that
tell us more about that?
yeah. So, the employer pushes this narrative that you have to treat with their doctors, their panel doctors for 90 days, which obviously would be a huge advantage for the employer to control the medical for 90 days. So, which is why they push it. But yeah, total myth. Three things have to usually happen in order for that 90-day rule to really, I guess, be followed. You need to, every employee is supposed to sign this kind of like a waiver when they're hired, acknowledging the panel list. They also have to sign at the time of the injury, which, could be near impossible depending on the injury and a little
Right.
awkward to just ask someone to sign a piece of form, a form right after they're injured. And then third, the panel list needs to be posted in a common area at the employer's, headquarters office. And the panel list needs to be correct in that it lists all the proper type of physicians that it is required to. So if those three, things are met, then maybe they'll try to enforce you.
Are they ever
Um,
met?
no, they're almost never met, which is why we always can get around it. And even if they are met, Sam would still tell us to, screw them. We're still going to control the medical.
Wow.
Yeah.
So people think that they have to listen to their employer when they say, "You've got 90
You
days.
got
Do you
90 days
have
you
to
have to treat.
use?"
Yeah. So, and, obviously, yeah, it gives them a huge advantage in controlling their medical. They're sending them to these quack doctors for 90 days, not getting real treatment. So it's huge, it's huge,
Wow.
huge myth and issue.
So if somebody didn't come up to you right after your work injury and hand you a form and tell you you have to sign it, you don't have to listen to that 90-day myth.
No. And even if they did, like I said, we still would pull
Right.
you from the panel. But
And
yeah,
there's,
unless those
yeah.
three items are met.
And they
Um,
probably haven't met the other two, even
right,
if they did
exactly.
that.
So even if they did. Yep.
Wow.
It's crazy.
You mentioned we'll pull somebody from a panel. Can you tell me what that means?
Yeah. So the panel, these are doctors right in the insurance carriers' pockets. Like they're directly paying these doctors. So they're never going to get proper treatment from these panel doctors. Sam will almost always have us pull their care from the panel doctors and we'll take over the care. I mean, the medical is, the most important thing in a case and being successful in a case. So making sure that we control the medical, we're getting them to the right doctors, they're getting the right care, they're getting the tests that they need to get done. The panel doctors will block all of everything, down the line to the process. Yeah,
It sounds like the system is automatically stacked up against an injured worker.
absolutely.
The insurance company's paid by the employer, which doesn't feel legal, but is completely legal, apparently.
Right.
So the panel doctors that are paid by the insurance company and the employer, do they give you the best medical review?
No, of course of course they're gonna do whatever the employer wants them to do. They're gonna send you right back to work before you're ready. They're
Mm.
gonna step in the way of any tests or anything that you need to get done, any true care that you need. They're gonna try to make sure. And there's obviously exceptions. Some panel doctors aren't going to do that. Some doctors will actually, give you the care that you deserve, but a lot of them, for the most part, will, just try to rush you back to work um, without any further or true follow up.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just why we are, we're just gung ho on getting you away from these panel doctors. It's probably, one of the most important moves that we carry out as, attorneys here.
So it's so important for every injured worker to hear. If somebody is telling you, your employer, the employer's insurance company, if they're telling you,
That
you have 90
you have
days,
90 days to treat with these doctors. It's not true.
don't listen to them
Call our office. We'll get you to, medical professionals that will treat you, doctors that will treat you how you, deserve to be treated and should be treated.
and aren't paid by your
And
employer,
exactly.
which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I
I
can't
know
believe
it
this is
should be
allowed.
illegal. I know.
That's
Crazy.
that's wild. If someone says, "I don't want to file a claim because I don't want to lose my job," what do you tell them?
I mean, that's fair. Unfortunately, obviously it's illegal to fire someone after they've suffered a work injury, but it happens. You know, I look at every case. You have to look at every case holistically. So you have to weigh, the pros and cons. I'd see their length of employment. Have they been with the employer for, how long? If it was a job they've been with for 3 weeks, they don't care about losing it. No harm in, moving forward and risking it. If it's an employee, a union worker, something like that, where they've been with the employer for 40 years and they really don't want to, they don't have any issues. They love their employer. In those scenarios too, they probably won't lose their jobs, but the risk is there, so it's tough. but you definitely have to look at the case holistically and advise them accordingly.
And you advise case by case.
For
So
sure.
there's
No
no
case is the same.
there's no magical. This
There's
is
no,
works for everybody.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Comp is chaotic and always case by case.
But I love that you take that time for each case and start from step one with each case and say, like, what's truly best for you as a
Well, I
human
mean, they're
being?
people. These are their lives.
Yeah.
We have to do what's right by the client in every case. So we're never going to push someone to file a claim just so, we can have another retainer signed, and, our numbers look good and we're getting paid. That's never our MO. We're always going to do what's best for the client at the end of the day. If it's, it doesn't seem right for them to move forward, not in their best interest to file the claim, maybe if they're better off just putting it through their personal insurance, we're going to tell them that.
That's incredible. Now, you talk to injured workers every day. Beyond the physical injury, what emotional struggles do you see?
I mean, there's a Sam actually really likes to push this psych aspect, and it's so true. Every physical injury that someone suffers, there's always a psych component. Not being able to get back to your family, provide for them, that, messes with your head. Not being able to do what you were able to do yesterday. Just being just out of your normal routine, not being able to go to work. You're at home, you're sitting on the couch, you can't move, your arms messed up. It messes with you psychologically.
Sure.
And then, obviously add the financial aspect, which is, could, you know, drive someone insane, especially if they have to provide for a family.
Absolutely. How do you tread through those types of emotional struggles? Because when someone's coming to you, it's not because they're having the best day of their life.
Yeah. How do I tread? We're just always trying to do what we can to make their day better, easier. We offer as many resources as we can, help them apply for unemployment if that's something that's available, disability, if they can apply for that while they're waiting for their case to be litigated, we'll help them with that. So anything that we can do, we will do, sending swag just to, make their day a little better. Dylan likes to do that a lot, which is great. They always appreciate it. It makes them feel like they're not just a number, not just another client that they've, that we can, we treat them as family.
Yeah, and they're taken care of.
They're taken care of.
What's something every worker deserves that they don't always receive?
Well, I mean, their benefits, their medical, right? Medical, wage loss. So, the benefits that we're fighting for, they almost are always denied those off the bat. It's a shame. It really is. The insurance companies will just deny every claim, any claim that they can, for no good reason. But they're entitled to those rights, those benefits. So that's why we're here, though.
Now, what's one phone call you'll never forget?
One phone call I'll never forget. Oof, I don't know that I have a single phone call. There's so many. I mean, obviously all the catastrophic injuries, the fatal claims are always very tough. I just spoke to actually a client just what's today, Thursday, just 2 days ago, yesterday, a Portuguese speaker. His father was just in a fatal accident just last month. He was involved in a head-on collision with another driver who was coming up the highway the wrong way. Head-on collision, the 3 passengers all died. So I spoke to the son of one of the passengers. I mean, it's horrible. They have to take him back to Brazil to bury him. It's all very sad. But there are many calls that I'll never forget like that. It's very difficult to speak to these families because you can never really understand what they're going through.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you balance that? Because that's a heavyweight.
Oh yeah.
And that's a heavyweight every day. How do you balance that and being the Gab that can leave this place and show up and be mommy?
It can be
and
very hard
yeah.
because some of these stories just really hit too close to home. And we have a little group chat. Our intakers go back and forth about some of the calls that they've gotten, and they're helping each other through these calls. But yeah, it can be very hard. It's very heavy. I don't know. I don't know that I really leave it here. A lot of it stays with me, and I go home and I just make sure that I'm going home and I'm fully there for Cameron and my husband and our family. And I just make sure that I'm more grateful for the time that we get to spend, because coming from these stories, it makes you more grateful.
Sounds like you have an amazing support group, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's great that there is that mental health support for other team members to say, you're not alone. We carry this weight together.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have great teams here. My intake team is phenomenal. They're always, lending a hand to each other, helping each other out. They're great. I'm
That's
very
amazing.
lucky.
That's amazing. Now, people think client service is just answering phones. What does great client service actually look like?
Great client service, I mean, to me, is just start to finish, making sure everything is tailored to the client. Every little detail matters. You go to Disney World and they've thought of every single thing from start to finish, from the second you've entered
Yeah.
the gates to the second that you leave. So I think great client service isn't just answering the phones and answering their questions. It's making sure that their experience is personalized and they feel like they're family here and that we care about them. We do care about them, but
Yeah.
to make sure they know and can feel that. So I think just making, especially in this day and age with all the AI and all the automations and everything, just making sure that the clients don't just feel like another number. Making sure, just remembering little details about the clients and their families. I think, that goes a long way.
For
Being
sure.
able to say, how's your wife? How's your son? I know a lot of our attorneys um, know those little details, and I think it goes a long way in client service.
Yeah, for sure. Humanizes them.
Exactly.
You're not a number here.
You're not, yeah.
If someone listening today is scared after getting hurt at work, what's one thing you want them to remember?
That they're not alone. It can be very scary to try to tackle this process alone, and they don't have to do that. They don't have to do it alone. They have us. They have support systems if they don't have family. But yeah, I'd say that they don't have to do this alone.
Now, I love getting to learn more about you, Gab. So I want to ask some more questions
Sure.
about the person behind the title.
Okay.
What accomplishment are you most proud of that has nothing to do with work?
I mean, obviously, Cameron
Yeah.
brought this beautiful baby into the world. I don't think I ever really thought. I don't know. I'm a very laid back person, so I don't think it really sunk in on how huge it was. What mothers do until I was really further into it. I was pregnant. I was like, it's fine. I'm gonna have the baby. People have babies all the time. I don't think it really sinks in until you're like, wow, I'm in this. Like I have to take care of this baby every day, every second of the day. There's no off button. I can't just be like, no, I'm gonna call it for today. You're just always on the clock. It's huge. It's a huge responsibility, but also a very rewarding and huge accomplishment. Just seeing her grow and learn and be so smart and cute and beautiful is a huge accomplishment.
She walking and talking?
So close. She'll be walking by 1 for sure. She turns 1 next month.
Gosh,
Yeah.
that's so
I
exciting.
know. She's very advanced, of course. A
Yeah.
little biased,
Of
but
course.
she's clearly advanced.
I love it. Definitely send us a video when you get those
Oh,
first
absolutely.
steps.
Yes. I'll send you some pics of her in her Pond Lehocky gear too.
Oh my gosh,
Yes,
please.
I will.
We have to make like a whole kids line. I'm
I'm
convinced.
trying to push it. Yeah, I mean, we have so many babies here.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the
Just
onesies, which are
I
cute.
have the
but-
onesies. Do we have any other? We have the t-shirts.
The
I have
t-shirts.
the Eagles t-shirts.
I want like a little, like a tutu.
Yeah, like
with like a,
something.
yeah,
Get on that.
something. Yeah, I like this.
Let's work
Marketing,
together.
as soon as Viv and Rua hear that I said this, they're gonna kill me. But
Tell them it was my idea.
like a little headband would be so
Yes.
cute.
Now we're
little
talking a headband.
bows.
Yes.
Oh, we'll make it happen. Gab, what keeps you grounded?
What keeps me grounded? I mean, I think just this everyday work, helping people, makes you appreciate every day that I'm not injured and having to go through this process. So I'd say, yeah, the client stories, just being able to, hear their issues and their problems, what they're facing, really keeps everything in perspective for us and keeps us very grounded.
What does a perfect weekend look like for you?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, I love a weekend where I'm not doing anything. But I mean, usually, and especially in the summer, we're so busy. There's, events, parties. So I had Cameron. I was pregnant with 4 of my other friends. So we all had
Oh my
babies around the same
gosh.
time. So right now, especially, is a very busy time. Everyone's turning 1. So I just had a first birthday last weekend, another first birthday 2 weekends before that. I have 3 coming up, all before Cameron's first birthday.
Oh
So we're
my
very,
gosh.
very busy. It's a lot of fun, but I really enjoy my perfect weekend. Is just doing nothing.
Nothing.
Me and Cameron just hanging out. Me, Cam, and her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hanging with the fam, cooking. Um, honestly, just like doing nothing. Yeah, it's the week is so chaotic. It's just nonstop that it's nice to just a little bit of nothing.
Yeah, unplug.
Unplug, yeah.
Now, were you the last to give birth out of your friend group?
Yeah, so Cameron's the youngest.
Okay. Oh
Yes,
my
she's the
gosh.
youngest, and she's the only girl actually. So
Really?
out of the 5 of us, 4 boys, Cam's the only girl, and she's the youngest, so she's the
Oh
little
my
princess.
gosh. What were some of the birthday party themes?
So the one we just went to last weekend was the first lap, so F1. Weekend before
Cute.
that was golf. I
Okay.
forget what the catchphrase was. The 2 coming up is fun to be one,
Cute.
lobster theme for the other one. Yeah,
Lobster
I know, I
themed? Oh
know.
my
I forget what
gosh.
her catchphrase was too, but it's cute. And then Cameron's is her first fiesta.
I love that each one of these has a catchphrase.
Yeah.
This is
You have to.
amazing.
You need a catchphrase.
That is incredible. And you told me before we started filming that your first birthday set the bar for
Yes,
first
my
birthdays.
mom really did it up for our birthdays. We had clowns, so we're on right. I told you right on Packer Ave. It's a major street, pretty high traffic area. So we're right on Packer Ave, and she had clowns. We had animals. There was donkey rides. So it was
For a
crazy.
first,
For
first
our first
birthday.
birthday. Yeah, I couldn't even remember.
She set the bar.
She set the bar very high. So we're doing it up.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Who has had the biggest influence on the person you've become?
Biggest influence, obviously my parents. My dad's super hard worker, so I definitely get my work ethic from him. My mom, super compassionate. That's definitely rubbed off, and she's instilled that in all of us. So definitely my parents.
Has your dad given you any of those chef
Oh, chef
skills?
skills, not as I'm not up to his level or my brothers, but I know a couple things.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is next time we have you on the podcast, we're cooking something together.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's do
We
it.
should cook Sunday gravy.
Let's cook it. Let's do it.
That would be so
I
fun.
would love to.
And
Could do
I would
fresh
love to eat as
pasta.
well. Oh my gosh, no
Yes,
way. Do
yeah.
you have a machine or do
I
you?
have a machine. Yeah, it was my mom's too. So I have my mom's recipes. I have my mom's, attaches to the
Oh my
table, and you
gosh.
do it all from hands. Yeah,
This is legit.
it's legit.
Okay, cool. I would like to do a Philly lightning round of questions with you.
Oh gosh. Okay.
No pressure, but you are
Oh, I mean, all the pressure.
the queen of South Philly. So, all right, are we ready?
Let's do it. Hopefully, I don't get any wrong.
Geno's or Pat's?
Neither. But if I had to pick, I guess Geno's.
Which would you pick instead?
There's so many other great places. Angelo's in South Philly, phenomenal cheesesteak. That's
Yeah,
probably one of the
Angelo's is
best.
good.
Del Rossi's, phenomenal cheesesteak.
Let me just write these
Dylan
down.
Pond will tell you Oregon steaks, and I will concede that they've upped their game recently. Their bread is way better than it used to be. So Oregon Steaks has a pretty good cheesesteak that's right around the corner
Okay.
from me.
That would be
But
so
yeah,
dangerous if I was right around the
please, I
corner.
know. We should do like a cheesesteak tour.
He should.
But yeah, Geno's and Pat's are just tourist traps. Yeah,
You heard it here.
right here first. You know.
Roast pork or cheesesteak?
Ooh, depends where the pork's from. John's roast pork actually makes a phenomenal cheesesteak as well. I think I'd have to go cheesesteak.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go roast pork.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I feel like it depends on the day.
It depends on the day, my mood. Yeah.
Season, yeah. Wawa or Primo hoagies?
Oh, Primo's. Hands down.
Broad Street Run or Mummers Parade?
Oh, that's an easy one. My dad's a mummer, so obviously.
Your dad's a mummer?
Yes.
What does he play?
The sax. He no longer, he's, not on the line anymore. He's more in the
Oh my
background, but he's
gosh.
still an active member. He's in Quaker City String Bands. But back in the day, him and his dad, my pop-up, were sax players, and he was also in Quaker City as a mummer as well.
Did you play saxophone?
No.
Gab.
I know. I feel like Cam might be
Okay.
musical. She might have the musical bone. So
I actually have a saxophone kids toy that I buy
No
all of my
way.
friends that have kids so that I can indoctrinate them while they're
I
young.
love it. I'll have to get her a sax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Sort
absolutely.
of
I
young.
have a link for you after this.
Perfect.
Favorite Philly neighborhood besides South Philly?
That's tough. I love Old City, just because I love like the cobblestones and just like the
Beautiful.
whole. Yeah, it's beautiful, great restaurants. So I'd have to probably say like Old City.
I thought you were gonna say no other option, only
I mean,
South
oh,
Philly.
it could be Die Hard. No, there's some other great neighborhoods out there. I'll concede.
Now, best Phillies memory.
I mean, obviously when they won the latest the World Series.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was
Were you
insane.
there?
Not at the game,
Okay.
but we're so close that
Sure.
we were involved in the parade, and yeah, it was insane.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Soft pretzel with mustard or plain?
Mustard
Mm.
and spicy mustard.
Ooh, brand?
Um,
Or does
what's
it not
the?
matter?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The spicy brown.
One Philadelphia hill you'll die on.
I mean, obviously the gravy thing
Yeah.
is huge for all the Italian South Phillians. Um, yeah, I'd have to say the gravy. Gravy versus marinara sauce.
It's gravy.
It's gravy. Yep, we'll die on that one.
Okay, I love this game so much that I want to do another Philly game with you.
Okay.
So we're going to play a game called South Philly or Made Up.
Okay.
So I'm going to read some Philly phrases or traditions, and you have to tell me if they're real or fake.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna not do all this. Okay, go ahead.
You got this. Parking chair.
Parking chair. Is it South Philly? I mean, you shouldn't do it in South Philly.
Really? What happens?
A parking chair? No, no. You can't put a chair out to save a parking spot, you mean?
In South Philly, yeah.
You can't do that. People do it, but frowned upon.
Water ice
Water ice. What about it?
or water ice.
Oh, water ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoagie tray at every party.
Nah,
No.
no.
We like hoagies, but not
Yeah, we don't need them.
at everything.
At everything.
Jeet yet?
Jeet yet? Yes.
That's real?
Yeah.
Do your parents say that?
Jeet yet? No, but I've heard.
You've heard
other
it.
families, yeah.
We've already talked about this, but Sunday gravy.
Sunday gravy, of course. Huge staple. It's a thing.
Eagles chant in a grocery store.
No.
Wait, you never just break out into an Eagles chant in a grocery store again?
No, I know. Crazy, right?
Mummer's strut.
Mummer's strut, like just
Yeah.
no.
And lastly, Jimmy's versus Sprinkles.
Oh, that's a good one. It's Jimmy's. I'd have to go
Really?
Jimmy's, yeah.
I'm Sprinkles.
So your sprinkles?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I could see.
Do you
see
you
both
usually
sides.
say Jimmy's though?
Yeah, I'd say Jimmy's.
Okay. Oh, I could use that on some
I don't
ice cream right
usually
now.
get Jimmy's or sprinkles, so I don't have to say it
okay.
often,
I
but
gotcha.
I'd say Jimmy's.
Maybe Cam will.
Yeah, we'll see if Cam.
Now, finally, the name of our show is Law Meets Life. So, what does Law Meets Life mean to you?
I could see this, going a few different ways, but I guess probably just making the law more digestible for people in everyday life. Breaking it down into layman's terms and making it make sense to the common people.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Making
good.
it, yeah.
That's a good answer. We
Making
ask every
everything-
guest.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, breaking it all down into layman's terms, making it I could see a few different ways for this for the relation. But yeah, first thing that came to mind, I'll stick with that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sam Pond said, like, the law is his life.
Okay.
You know,
yeah,
so
I
there's
can see
really
this
no
going
line.
in
Yeah.
multiple different ways, but I'll just
No, I
stick
like
to the
that, though.
original.
I like that. Gab, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your story.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
It's been an
great.
honor having the Queen of South
Let me
Philly.
know when let me know when the next episodes are gonna, when we want to air those with the mummers and the gravy.
I can't wait.
I'll be available.
I love it. And thank you all so much for watching Law Meets Life. Until next time.